what are we doing? The first homework, when is it due?
Saturday, 6 p.m.
All right, next Saturday before you go out with your family, girlfriend, boyfriend, go somewhere, make sure you just finish it. Yeah. So Saturday morning, afternoon, do it, but maybe do it earlier. When you create an app, make sure you use the README here. So let's start. I have too many things going on right here, so let's create a new one. All right. So I'm going to do homework. Can everyone see the screen? Is it too small? That's fine, right? Uh-oh. Is that okay? Let's see. This one. Let me just close all of them first. Our system is running on a lot of modules. Let's close them all so it's faster to show. Apologies, this is going on too long. All right, there you go. One more. Okay, great. How do you start the project to complete the homework? Does anyone know? If you're looking at this homework right now, what is the first step? Yeah, excellent. So first, sort of read through it, understand the general requirements. What's the homework about? It's about a restaurant website. Yeah, it can let you order, so you have a menu, and it lets you order some food, show you some details. Right? Maybe it send you information, and then it's you can send SMS or emails to confirm your order. So some of the best solutions in the past, right? People build something like this. This order form, you click, submit. Different relationship you have to deal with here, right? Try to make it nice. You see that people make it very different from the ugly demo that I'm going to do. All right. You can sort, do different logic here, switch different tabs, sort. All right. So we'll try to do something similar. You can use that as your inspiration. How to submit. Up here, there's a submit link here. So it's similar to your pre-work. Go here and submit the 3 fields. You can drag and drop your, GIF file, and then just fill out some other information there. Okay, here, right? Okay. I'm going to do it one by one. We'll call it restaurant app. So CD. So Rails. First, you have to know what version you have, right? So what's that? Ruby version. Okay, I'm using 2.3.1. And if I'm going to use Rails, I need to make sure what Rails version I have. When you're in doubt of the latest version, go to Ruby Gems, and let me see. Let's see if they have the any newer version. But in Rails 5, we're pretty good. So everyone in this class, let's use Rails 5, all right? Rails new, all right? So this is the latest version. That's good. And what's the name of our app? It's really up to you, okay? I'm gonna name it restaurant. That's quite silly. Let's name something better. Up restaurant, right? So you can do it up. In Ruby, this is called. Does anyone know what this is called in terms of naming? Yeah. What? Camel case. Okay. What is this? All right. Snake case. Oh, yeah. You all are pro now. So, up restaurant. That's either one is okay. What database are we using? So database PostgreSQL, right? Yeah, don't forget this one. It just make it easier over time. Really, everyone stick with it. It's the best relational database system, database system. And maybe if you want, you can say skip test, whatever, right? So we'll teach test later. I just start with that. What is the next step? Huh? Bundle install. Hey, yeah, good call. And it's running here too. So it's, the internet. You can do this without the internet. Without internet, it would still run because you already have the Rails gem and everything. Okay. So notice we have Spring. I'll explain that later. Remind me if you need to. So up restaurant. Okay. So what do we have? This is the folder structure. Okay. So like I said, a lot of folders. The first step you want to do is to copy this README template. Right? Get the raw version. Copy this, and then I'm going to go to README. Like this one is not useful, right? Maybe this is good to note it, but for our project, you want it to be this file that I provide, right? We provide under. So feel free to type some stuff here. What we want to do is, okay, so now I'll say this is my name. I'll update this later, right? So pretty much you can actually mark this as a to-do and then find them later, right? I don't have a Heroku yet, so my goal is I can start checking this as I go, okay? Done. So we don't have Git yet. The next step is you type Git in it. As a programmer, by now, everyone should know Git. It's just almost like knowing how to say hello in a language. So Git init lets you start a repo. It create a .git folder in here, right? Right. So all the dot folders are not displayed by default. So to see it, you type ls.al. So what I'm doing next is Git Status. Right, I see that these are untracked files in Git. I mean, Git doesn't remember any of this. So I add all of them. Okay. Now you see this TMP folder, right? I don't want to add that. Log folder. I don't want to add that either. So I'll just add, and I'll see Git Status. So this is short for it. I don't like that. This is okay. That's good. It's not really adding them. I explained Git very quickly here. In Git, you have a git ignore file. Rails provide you this file. And Rails say, anything in the log file and the temp file don't commit. But you can define a .keep file to tell you what file in there to keep. So you don't ignore them. So that's all, right? Great. Now, what I'm doing is I just type first commit. A lot of repo do this. Right? When you check out any open source, it's always like first commit something. So I'll just say, I say something more interesting. What am I typing? Git commit dash message, right? If you want to commit all the changes, you might want to do dash A for all. So what is it? Okay, I just say, I just did Rails new, something like that. So maybe I can type Rails new D, Postgres, SQL, up restaurant. Maybe that's one way. It's up to you. But create a new app. So I say, new app. Great. Sounds clear enough? So the next person who read my code can contribute. Yeah? So that, now I use GCA because it just means I'm committing and I want to see all the messages if needed. That's all. Great. Now let's work on the first story. User must be able to go to 2 pages. All right. Rails app. How do you run the server? Rails server. If you run multiple servers, you can do -p and you provide a port. Otherwise, default is 3000. How do you open it? Localhost 3000, right? Great. After a bunch of things, and it's like database doesn't exist. How do you deal with it? Right, from Rails 4 is db create, right? With Rails 5 you can use rake or Rails, up to you. So Rails db create. You also sometimes if you use someone else's code, you can also just migrate right away. You can run 2 rake tasks at the same time. There's nothing to migrate, so I don't need to run it. Great, I have the development. So they always synchronize. They also do the test database for you. You can ignore that for now. So what happens? I have the database and it's empty. And if I refresh, look at this guy right here. Now, sometimes Rails 5 is still pretty new. Sometimes it's like getting stuck. So you like, if you're impatient with it, just cancel it. Okay, and try again. And it's fast. Done. This page is virtual, right? It's from the jam, the Rails jam. You cannot find the code. Yay, you're on Rails. It's not there. Right? Now, what we need to find the first page. How do you do the first page, guys?
Check it out.
That's right. So go to routes. Before I go to routes, I'm going to walk you through the structure here. When you type Rails server, it will load the application. I see it will run the Rails application. Okay? What you need to care about is the app folder. Right? In app folder, you have controller, views, models, that's MVC. The rest, don't worry about them yet. Okay? Anything JavaScript, images, they are in here. Okay? Public folder, this is where you can customize some of the static files. If you go to localhost/for4, you put something in this, you see for4, actually it's funny, that's the text. So I say, for example, I just type in here, oh, there's an update, I think it's, because it skipped the controller, so I'm not sure, but let's
Change the title.
Oh, I changed the title, that's right. So there's a text down here too, right? Here, right? The damn page that you're looking for. Great, so it's here. So now, first step, don't do this. I mean, if you want, like say, for error, pages, sample, and then you find some cool ones, you can replace this for page if you want. But the idea here is you can put direct HTML page, static. Does not run Ruby, it will appear, okay? Skip the routes and everything. But that's not what we want. So, that's public folder. Don't put anything else here, okay? Don't do reg assets compile. Then you have JavaScript file in this public folder. That's in production, not on your machine. Okay. Routes. It's in config. Don't have to worry about anything else. This is a route file here. So how do you config the first one? Root. So let's call it maybe home. Now this is home controller pound index action. All right. So let's go there. I run this right now. It will say where is home controller. So you see Rails is doing convention. I'm not telling it. I don't do something like this. I don't say, controller is home controller. This is Java. Right? You're like configuration in Java, configuration over convention. Rails is like, I know what the name is. Just tell me what it is. I know how to find it. So home controller, how do you do that? How do you do that, guys? Rails generate controller home, and you can tell to give it index. You can pass in index, about us. So we have a few more, but index. Okay, let's just do index. As soon as you have this, you see it adds this to the routes, which I don't need. It adds the index file here. It does the helper. We don't need yet. It gives you the files for the controller if you want to style your home page. Okay. Refresh. What happens? It will load this file and it's generated. So file me in this, right? So how do you find this index file? Come on. When it's still easy, give me the answer. Views, home, index. Great. So what is it? Welcome to up, all right, up restaurant. And then here will be like, let's read what this requirement is saying. Oh, it's something like that, and then you can see the 2 pages. So I'll just do that. Maybe I just do link to menu, and then I don't know where to put yet, so I just go here, and then you have link to contact us. Yeah? And then we look at this side. Damn. First task complete, right? But it looks like shit. So at least it should look something like that. Okay, fine. We'll get there. Now we learn a little bit more. Must go to 2 pages. So that's our home page. Must go to 2 pages. So let's make these 2 pages work. Routes. Let's go get. Now I just generated, so I'm just gonna reload this file. You see, they added this after you do Rails generate controller. You don't need it. You want to be specific. So let's say I want to go to menu. Alright, that's good. That's the route. You can do it's the same if you do this, okay? So I want to go to menu, but I'll tell you what controller and action to go. Home / menu. Is that okay? And I want to do the same thing for contact us. And here, contact us. Sounds fine? Yeah? So then down here, I'm just look at this file. Now I can say, look, this is cool. Convention again, it's hidden, but it's actually say menu, something like that. There's an as, that's the name of the route. A route has name. So because I say menu, it's understood, so it's a menu path. This down here, this is contact us path. Oh, magic, right? This is now like a function somewhere, it's a method, but it's because of this. Okay, so here's a little trick. If you're not clear, you go to /Rails and it will redirect you and you say, here are my routes and here are the routes I can use in my file. Make sense? Okay, so if I go here, now if I click menu, it go to menu, right? And contact us, it go to contact us. Okay, so I just need to create these 2 files. You see in this home thing, so I create a new file under, I go to home controller first. I create an action called menu, right? And just leave it empty for now, an action called contact us. And I create a view file, that's only the controller, right? Controller up here. I need the view, home menu, so let's do that. I create a menu file, .html.erb, and just say, here's the menu. Same thing, if I go to here, I go to contact us. Of course, you can use your own text editor, right? I'm just for convenience, contact us. I just created these 2 files. Okay, so now you can go menu, good, contact us, nice. I cannot go back, right? That's a little silly. So how do you make sure you can go back? There's a thing called layout. Let's look at the file here. You see this yield here? All these texts go under this yield. Okay? So I want to say, in fact, I want to have, a bar, right? Some navigation bar. So in here, I just have a diff for now. And I call this, going to the root. So let's just put something called each one up restaurant, right? Similar to up here, right? So maybe just like that. And actually, you don't want it just to be a text. You want it to be up restaurant, and here you can say root path. Okay? So what happens now is everywhere you go to contact us, and then now you go back to root, contact us, root. Looks fine? Okay, so I finished this. And I'm going to readme file, and I mark it check. Right? This one. Sounds good? Now let's check Git status, right? Let's check what has happened. I've made changes to these files, changes not staged for commit. So this means if you type git commit.m, it doesn't do anything. There's nothing staged. But if you say -am, it will commit all these changes. However, it still doesn't add this file, right? So normally, in this case, you just say, I want to add all these files. Later, when your project is more complicated, don't always do this because that's lazy. You may add some files you don't want. Double check. Okay, so I know what it is, so I add everything. Yeah? You know what happens? I even add this damn thing, right? So I may, if I check, it should be, check and I can remove it. Now, if I do git commit -v, it will show me all the changes. Sometimes I like it because it opened in a text editor and it tell me what changes here, and I can see, oh, okay, this file is like this. This file is a new file from nothing to some file, right? Same thing, and I'm like, okay, I do this. I just page down, right? And then up, oh, it looks good. And I start typing the message here. So I say finish the first, so let's say I might as well just copy this task, and I just paste that, yeah? And so I'm done with the first commit. Next, user can see addresses and phone number on the contact us page. How do we do that? Before we do that, let's just make it beautiful first, right? Ruby, Bootstrap. Let's just add it very quickly. Look at this guy. It's crazy. They are still in beta, but they're fixing it. Great. It's alpha 4, right? How do you update it? It's in here, right? And I'm just adding it to my gem file, all right? And I'm going to run maybe, I run bundle. Bundle is short for bundle install. Okay, and it's actually funny, right? You all run into this problem. I add this as well for tether. Okay, so sounds good. Source means I will explain why later, right? Right now you just use the gem. I will explain later why it's using a different source. So good, we finished bundle. I'll run bundle again. Okay, I have that. What's next? Always follow README instruction. So it's say, here's the first learning point. Bootstrap application.css. So Rails doesn't do this for you by default. Many of you already know. Assets, style sheet, CSS, right? So don't do this anymore, right? Like, okay, just use SCSS. Okay? SCSS, so it means I have to rename the file. Move application assets styles application.css. I want to move it to what file? I just change the last bit, right? So say SCSS. So now if you get status, this file has been deleted and I have the new file here. And if I go back to the editor, right? This file doesn't exist anymore. So let's go to add asset style sheet application.css. Remove everything. What are you doing? You're getting the bootstrap that's from the gem. Okay? And run this. Now you need to restart Rails server here, right? Let's restart it because you just installed a few new gems. Make sense? Otherwise it doesn't load bootstrap and it will complain. Alright, look like I'm done with that and I load this up. Sometimes you just get like, oh look, the font's different. What's happening? If you load this over here, new page source, I have jQuery, everything here, but like let's say application, and here's CSS body, you have Bootstrap installed, and it reset, right? It create, okay, say there's some default information. That's why your browser now looks different, the page looks different. But we want to take advantage of it, so we go to Bootstrap. But because it's Bootstrap 4, let's look at the guide. We want something that looks like this. So the first thing we want is the navigation bar. Documentation. Nav bar. This is called copy-driven development. Yeah, I'm just going to copy this. I go to my code right here. I will go to my, maybe, is it layout? Yeah, layout. I'm just going to copy, instead of this up thing, let's just copy it, right? All right. So this, I just need this link down here. You see, navbar. Now here's where you decide whether you use Ruby or HTML. It doesn't matter. If you use Ruby, then it will be something like that. Link to not called navbar, but up restaurant, similar to up here, right? Let's say you put this down here, then you have to do. Actually, I removed the H1 and then say, what's missing? Class, navbar, brand. Can you see the difference? These two are the same thing. Of course, here you can say group path, or you can just do that. If you want to be extra complicated, you can do that. Does it make sense? They are the same thing. So what am I doing? I'm like, this looks like Ruby, so maybe I keep this. And then later you can add more classes. But that's, if you don't like, you keep things as much HTML as possible. Just, root path's always like this, right? For example. So maybe it just changes to up restaurant. So I just give you a few ways to do things. Done. Now, home, same thing here, but let's look at this guy. Are we going to home? This is another thing that it may look really difficult to read, so that's why I like doing this. Link to menu, right? Yeah? Who can help me? Where it go? Menu? Uh-oh. Yeah, link to menu here. Menu path. Class is nav link. Is that okay? Nav link here. And let's forget about the current thing for now, okay? So it's just span. That's nothing here. Screen reader only. So this is invisible on your browser, only on a Kindle or some stupid browser device. So it's not very useful. Keep that. Okay? So you can do the same thing with another nav item, but this time it's contact us. I love it. I have background music for my video now. So you can delete all the other ones. Does that make sense? But the cool thing about using Ruby code is you're like, oh, this looks like Ruby code, so you can even refactor it. You do a loop each do here, but I'm not going to make it complicated. Easy to read, yeah. We all know what it is. That's done. I am getting out of here. There's a search button. That's okay. You decide where to go later. You can decide where to go here. Action equal search, maybe search. That's later. All right. Where is our browser? I just copy my code and I run. Ta-da! That looks nice. And I have contact us here. Yay! Works. Great. And one thing that is very common is that you wrap this in a container diff, right? So there's a container and container fluid. Make sure you understand that. And so let's say I do container. It's just a class, and I put this in here. And it just looks nicer if you have a smaller screen or a bigger screen. It's always just in the middle. It's kind of nice. What else is missing? I think we finished styling. What we didn't do is with JavaScript. So I'm going to follow the instruction a little bit here. I add require bootstrap as well for JavaScript. So let's say if I want to drop down. So I think I'm done. Run this. Load up the Chrome inspector. Uh-oh. You see, I forgot something, right? So do that. Inspect. And this come up. And what's missing? You want require tether as well, right? So you load jQuery, this, load bootstrap, and anything else that you load should be after that. Because you may use JavaScript, you may use jQuery in that order. Oh, come on. Require tether. Why is it still not working? Huh? Are you sure? What's your
Another gem?
the other gems? I added the gem. So one way I can see is I'm going to look at the source again. Is this guy loading my application? Tether is here. So I need to load tether before bootstrap. You see that? Okay, so great. And maybe it's time to do You know, these are the changes. So you can type Git Diff before. You know, I'm paranoid. I'm like, oh, I add the gems here. It added the sources. It makes sense to me. I added tether and bootstrap. See, double check. Oh, it's good to see your changes here. Oh, so I say, look good. Oh, I have a new file too. Make sure I add them. Okay, so I say what? Add bootstrap. So it's prettier. Uh-oh, can't type. All right. Great, we forgot to focus on our next Google Maps, blah, blah, blah. So let's go to Google Maps. Let's cheat a little bit, all right? Maybe later you can do the Google Map API thing, but I'm going to do up co-working space. Let's see. Ah, this looks like the right one, right? And you're going to click on share. We all master of HTML and JavaScript, right? Share. Yeah, embed. This map is built for you, yes, for sure. So you can just copy this and paste it in your code, right? So where is the code? You know where to put the embedded. And be sure contact us, right? So I say, you know, I'll just paste it right down here. What is it? It's just an iframe, right? And with some width and height, so maybe it's too long. Put it down here so I can see it. 600 height, blah, blah, blah. Allow full screen. Okay, fine. And then if I go to my contact us here again, still contact us, I have this, right? But it's not as nice. Maybe you want to use Bootstrap style. You don't need controller, but you want half the screen is for the map and half the screen is for something else. So you wrap it in a row, and then this one is in who knows how to do it? Call. Okay, SM6. So you want two of this, right? So I need in this here. I copy this whole thing here. Uh-oh. I am going to copy this guy. Paste it on the right hand side. That's right. And then out here, maybe I just do a block like that. So up, co-working, space, I don't know, just type your address in here. So maybe up, co-working. Oh, that side is really slow. So maybe I will go to, I need to copy the address. School.vn/courses here. This side is faster. Still not that fast. All right, here's the address. I'm cheating. Let's copy it. Put down here. Look good to me. All right. Anything else? Maybe put phone number or whatever. So look at what we've got so far. It's just HTML. It shows up here, right? This guy get half. Looks like half is a little too. You're like, oh, because you have 12, right? So you can do 4 and 8. So what does it mean to have SM?
Small.
Small. Why don't you do XS? It means this is right now is large. So LG, and then this, you have larger thing. But here, if you go down, it's still 2/3, 2/3, 4 and 8, 4 and 8. But here, because you didn't tell it what to do with XS, this is the XS screen, so it's just gonna take the whole thing, and it's good. So this is mobile friendly, right? And you're like, oh, okay, I can scroll. Except when you do this and on your phone, you cannot scroll down, touch the map, and then it just goes crazy. So, all right, this page, I think I'm done, right? You can see the address, and I think there's some phone number there. Let's pretend I added that. You can change a little bit more on here. You can, style it if you want. So I feel like I'm done with my README here. So great, right? Great. That's good. So I say contact us page. Yeah, I did that. Next, it's the exciting thing. So when you click on menu, it shows you a page with, a section like breakfast, lunch, dinner, something like this. And We're going to do that with, who knows what it is? Is it called nav? Maybe? What is nav? Oh, it looks like this. Oh, I have breakfast, dinner, etc., etc. It doesn't look that nice though. I don't like it. It looks like tab. So maybe you can do like, is this tab okay? Maybe it's okay. Well, what we want is something like this. Yeah. You can also use this. So maybe this is good. Yeah. Let's go. Go to the code. Go to home menu. And I'm going to paste this in here. All right, but the thing is, I only need one because I'm using Ruby, right? And then here, it may or may not be active. Let's forget about active first. What am I having? It's like I have breakfast in here, yeah? Breakfast, dinner, etc., etc. So if I'm being lazy right now, I just have an array. So an array called, I just do an array right here. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, what? Supper. This is Ruby code, so you have to put it in. All right, ERB tag. So what is it? You need an each do, right? Section name. In here then, we want this to be section. Looks fine, right? Okay, so if I go to menu here now, yeah, right? But I need to know like what's the active one. So maybe, how do I know that? Maybe you go here, you say section equal breakfast, and then it will become like this is active, something like that. Okay? So here's when we get serious. We stop thinking. We start thinking, I need a model for this. You don't have to, but it will be a little clearer. Why not, right? So I'm doing now, and I create a model. So let's keep this right here. And let's, does anyone know how to generate a model? Will generate what? Okay, so if you do scaffold, it do controller and view and everything, you probably don't need it most of the time. Only when you first get started. If you do resource, it will do your, it is a little less. Model, route, and a bit, right? Let's just type that. It says something, step out, new resource. I like to do that with some cases, but in this case, I just do, I wonder what it says. Yeah, generate model, controller, migration. I just need model, something really simple. Section. What is in the section? Yeah? What column is in the section? Name? That's it, right? Great. So what files do I have? You see this migrate thing? If you, normally you're in a hurry, you type Rails DB, migrate. So let's not do that first, right? Let's see, where's my code here? DB. Now you know the DB. There's a new migrate folder. And in here, there's a thing here. It's quite simple, right? When you run migrate, it runs this. It says give a string column. Okay? Maybe I want to make this column an index so it's faster to search. Because I know, oh, I always have breakfast, dinner. So maybe it's, I'll just say index 2. So I can make changes, double check, before I run Rails DB migrate, right? Rails DB migrate. Next, so you see what's happening here, right? Migrate section, migrated. And after you migrate, you have the thing called schema file. These are all the tables, right? Okay? So then it adds an index here. All the table, you have sections. But we know we always need 4 sections. Maybe you add more, like coffee, dessert, appetizer, dessert, other things for your restaurant. But if you create your code and then June want to use it, you pull your code, you want to help June create these sections for him. Where do you put it? If you put it in here, that's not good. Don't don't insert data in your migration file. Okay? Very rare, like you create a user, you get an admin. Yes, you could do that, but in general, even that you don't need to. So try not to do it. Don't do this. Oh, section dot create and name blah blah blah. You can do it somewhere else. So here's my recommendation. Go to your model. I just create one class method called generate defaults. Sounds good? Or seed default. You plant some default. So what are the sections I want to create? Remember those four things? Breakfast, lunch. I don't like typing that much, so I just type Ruby. It's the same thing. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks. Maybe you can do like appetizer, dessert, right? Okay, so that's the same. That's an array of strings. So each do. So this is section name, and you just say section dot create name. Done. So you know Ruby by now. It's the same as doing that. Yeah. And now, what if you already have a name like that? So you can also do something like find or create by. So then it doesn't create that again. Sounds good? Okay. So maybe I can do this Rails deep. How do I do it? How do I run it to test? Guys, how do I run this? So I do Rails console to test this. That's why in model is great. It's easy to debug. You say section, that's the name of the class. You can say generate default. Okay? Before this, I do section.count. Let's see how many sections I have. 0. If you do section.first, find the first section in the database. Nil. But if you do seed default, it will run it and you can test. Oh my code, it's an error, right? And what's the error? Undefined method. Oh, I call seed default. Let's say generate default. So, right? So let's say section.generate default. Enter. Whoa, look at that. So it's printing now. If you know a little SQL, this will make sense. I create all of that. But what if I run it again? So let's say section.count 4, good, run it again. Hey, it will try to load first and they're all there, so only 4. Good, right? But what if someone does this? Section.create name breakfast. Uh-oh. It still create, and now how many sections do I have? 5, and that looks stupid. So I can also just delete the last one like that, last.destroy. Yeah? Now, to prevent that from happening, we have something called validation. So what are you validating here? So you say section must exist, right? So validate section, but then you want to say present is true, yes. If you don't, after you have this, right, say reload here, and then you say section.create, nothing, right? It will crash. It say, what does it say? Well, that's not good. Oh, this is not section, name, right? Validate name. Let's try again. Reload, .create. Name cannot be blank. Nice. I want it even better. Unique. Uniqueness is true. It means if you create and something happened before, it will also crash, right? But then that some person can still do section.create name breakfast. Right? Like, I tell you not to do that. So what happened now? I can also say case sensitive, as long as it's not nil. So case sensitive is false. So when you do this, it's nice because even if you create, section.create name breakfast here, right? Now exclamation will crash. If you don't want it to crash, you create this. You see, you create, but it doesn't create. It roll back. And it returns you a record that's nil, there's no ID. I will get this record as A. So here's A, but if I type A.errors, there's an error here. Name has already been taken. Breakfast already taken. Okay? Good. So with all that work, we can now understand, let's display this breakfast, dinner, all this funny thing. So home/menu, and here I can just say section.all.each do section, and what is it in here? Yeah? Okay? So it's like this. Now what if you click on each one of them? Yeah, here, right? Link here, right? So let's say when you click on it, I want to do something like maybe, section equal section name, so something like this, breakfast. So it will look ugly if you start typing something like this. It just looks hard to read. That's when I use link to. So link to section name. It's the same, right? But where do you want it to take? Where do you want it to go to? You want to the same path. There may be many paths, but you want to pass the section. This is the param, section name. And you want to tell it the class map link. Okay, look at these two guys. Are they the same? Yes, right? So I can delete this. Make sense? Does it make sense, guys? Alright, it makes sense. Means now if I click on menu, and here click breakfast, it goes to section breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks. But I want it to be active. Right? So this is a little long here, but I'm just making it here, go down here so we can see. This is one class name, but I want another class name. So this is your Ruby code. I want to say active if param section, this value right here, this param section, is the same as section.name. Whoa. Does it make sense? If not, it will return nil, nothing. So it's okay, it's an empty string. If param section is the same as section name, then you are doing this. Looks nice? Good. Now, we're running out of time, so I'm going to rush to the next section. Bear with me a few minutes, okay? I am done with section, so I add that. Done with section. Next, food item. Food item should have the following field. So you generate the model the same way. You know, a menu, you have to have many food items, right? So we call this food. You can call it this way or food item this way. It's the same. Rails will understand. Name, you can say name string, but this is the column type. That's the default, so you don't have to. Description, maybe description can be long, so you say description is text. Okay? Price is money, so you say decimal. Of course, for Vietnamese money, it's actually integer. What else? Image, URL. Okay, so maybe you can paste the URL in there. So it's a string too, but that's the default, so I just do that. What's missing? Section ID, right? What data type is it? Integer, right? That could be good. So Rails give you one more way. You say section references. It will understand that it's section ID. If you do this, okay, and let's check this guy out. It says references. What it's doing is it also understands foreign key. So it means, look at this, right? Schema right now, you don't have anything yet. So let's say if you do Rails, db migrate, and you look at the schema file, look, this guy, you have the section, food up here, you have integer here, and also references give you this for free. So you can look up the section faster, right? It's the index. Good, so I have that. And even better, in the model, it say belongs to section already. Yeah, so it helps you 3 steps. It's a little nicer. Now you can go to section, and you say, well, I also has many food items to make it complete. Make sense? So it means down here, I can do, down here what I'm supposed to do is view menu here, I can display, down here I can display food items. How do you display them? Section now has many food items. I have the current section, right? Oh wait, I don't have this variable. Right, so if you click on a section, it's going to, if you click on a section, it's going to that section. So maybe my controller needs to be fast, smarter. Let's look at the controller, right? So okay, let's see. Controller home. No, is it? Why is it? Wait, this is the wrong file, isn't it? Why is this home like only index? I had some code earlier. What's this? Oh, it's, wait. Let's see. All right, sorry about that. Let's. All right. So this guy in here, I can load the current section. How do I know that? I have parents section, right? So if parents section exists, then I can have a variable called section equals what? Section.find. You can say find by name, parent sections. Okay? If you use it, you can also use where, name is that, and then you find the first guy. You use where a lot in Active Record. So maybe if you don't want to know any find method, just use this. Yeah? It's the same. If I do this, and you say debugging in controller is difficult, right? So as I do this, I run this, I'm like, oh, do I actually have section? So you can say, right? And then you run this. And it's actually saying, and then down here you actually have, you could say, what is it, section? Oh, I found it. So you can actually debug by putting some random stuff in here, it will crash, and you can view it. Yeah? Another way, if you don't like crashing, I save this, I go to the menu file, and I say, debug section. If it's nil, it's nothing, right? But if it's yes, it will display for you. It's just too much. It will display like errors and all these other attributes. It's a complicated object. But now at least you know, okay, maybe how many, you can even say how many food items it has. So right now if you search down here, section, you can find food items. Oh, it doesn't have, you haven't called it, so it's not there. You can say debug food item, and then you run this. It's empty, right? Okay, so you can create more food items that way. So the point of this exercise then is that now you know how to display these food items. How do you display it, guys? You can display in a table, you can display whatever, but with this guy now you can do .each, do blah blah. Okay? All right. Unfortunately, I'm going pretty slowly to cover just up to the the areas here. I have this field. If you want to create this, guys, you can code it yourself. Form. Let me show you a trick. Maybe because it's lesson 1, right? Homework 1. I'm going to use scaffold, but because I already wrote some files, so let's say what do I have so far? Let's check. I now can know what section I have, right? I have a relationship between food and items, and I have the table the way I want. Some other files, yes, I like these files. I add them, and I say add food item. However, I haven't created a form, so if I do Rails generate controller, food items controller, it's a lot of work. Okay, so fine. Rails generate scaffold. You want the controller files, right? Food items. Yeah? So this is like doing it for food item, but then it's asking you, hey, there's already this file. So then you say, well, just skip the files I already created. So great. You can see it skipped the migration file because I already know it. It skipped the food item, actually, but it doesn't know what columns I have. It's not good. So I just made a mistake because it's generating a view Okay, let's show you. What it has it done? It gives you this thing, resources, food items, which means you go in here, you see a lot of things under food items. That is resources, food items under routes. It means you can go to food items, and that show you the list of food items. It go to new, it show you a form to create a new food item, but there's no field. I made a mistake. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? So I just say, maybe I delete this. Yeah? Destroy. Okay, it's a little complicated, so maybe you can watch this on the video. What happened after I destroyed? It destroyed some of my files too. Let's see. Oh, these are the files it destroyed, but I don't want to be destroyed. Like, these files, I created them. How do you get them back? Git checkout, period. And they are back. Okay, great. Whew. Right? Let's try this again. But I don't want to generate like that. I want to learn from, what did I do earlier? I want to learn from this guy. Food item and these columns. Right? This guy. Okay, so Rails generate scaffold for this food item with these fields, and then I say skip for the files that I already have. Now let's watch. This new folder, new routes. Now I have these guys. Alright, now I can create a real thing like a bar, right? Delicious, lounging food. I'm sorry, I'm really good at this food. What's the price, 80,000. Image URL, you can find some football thing, and then put it in here. So maybe this is breakfast. No. That's wrong. So you want to display that. Let's fix it very quickly. How do you fix this form? You go to, but let's just leave it empty first, right? Like put an ID. Maybe what is breakfast? I just put ID like section.first. What's the ID here? 1. I create 1 here, yeah? Food item. Great, I have this, and now you have 1 here, right? Great, right? But what happens when you go to menu here, you want to display this under breakfast here, and that's how you display them. So, what's that? Git, view, home, menu here. So section here now, if section, only if this exists, right? Then you say, section dot food items dot each do, then you just do food and you display them, okay? So let's say you can display everything. Food dot title, food dot name. What is the food items? Oh, name and description. So maybe put it in food dot name here, and then the paragraph food dot description, something like that. And you style them later, right? So that's the idea. We work together. If you do this, I have this. So follow some of the instruction here to continue. You can go home and start implementing exactly the same thing. Okay? Any question? Sorry, I'll keep you a little bit. Any question? Yes?
So git checkout dot will not, like I don't understand how, I thought checkout was like a.
Yeah, it's weird, right? But checkout, if you give it a file or a path, it reset all the changes. Someone just deleted my files, but because I already committed my changes, Git remembers. So that's cool. I can only do this because I commit often. If I demo this and I wasn't, committing, I lost all those files, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. So Git checkout, if you type a branch name, it goes to that branch. If you type a file name or a path, it undo all the changes.
Reset.
Yeah. No, Git reset is different. Git reset means, for example, this is the water bottle, right? I drink some already. I made some changes. Git checkout this bottle means now the bottle becomes full again. But Git reset does mean I forget that I already drank this water. It hasn't changed, but I just forget it. So here, if I make some changes and I commit, Git reset is useful for, let's look at this. Git status, you see modify here. If I type git add, it means all of these guys are changes to be committed. But if you don't want this to happen, you type git reset, and then they move back to, I don't know, Git doesn't know, I'm not staged for commit, okay? That's git reset, but don't do this. If right now I do git checkout, you can do short like that and then do this, all my changes now will disappear. It's bad. Yeah? Okay, some of my other videos in the resources, for those of you who care, actually some of them get to further. I just want to make sure that we start slow, but some of them actually is further. I'll give some more guide later, if you want. If you guys are not sure how to do this and that, just ask questions, okay? Maybe I can do quick notes or screen tasks. Some of this stuff, the notes are here, check them out. Okay, start homework and start asking questions. Thank you for the first lecture.
So what's the lab for? The labs do this.
Excellent.